My name is Alyssa Fearon, and I'm the director and curator at Dunlop Art Gallery, and I'm also the curator of this exhibition, Black Prairies. The exhibition Black Prairies, it focuses on honoring more than 100 years of cultural production and Black creativity in the Prairies region. The idea for the exhibition, for me, it started with me learning about William Billy Beal's glass plate negatives. Billy Beal was someone who migrated from the United States, and he found his way into Canada in southwestern Manitoba in a small region called Swan River Valley. He had trained as a sawmill engineer, and so he came to Manitoba to work in the lumber industry. He had a real passion for photography. He was someone who was committed to documenting the people, places, and events, just things that were happening in that Swan River Valley region. I really want to highlight one of the glass plate negatives in the exhibition, which is a self-portrait of Billy Beal. To me, it's one of the most important photographs that we have in the archive, mainly because it's the only self-portrait. I think it's important for people to think about the context surrounding this image. Most of the popular images of Black people in those days were primarily focused on hyper-criminalized views of Black people, as well as portraying Black people through blackface minstrelsy. Those sort of extreme depictions of Black people, those were what were popular images at the time. For this self-portrait of Beal, I think that he really finds a way to show and to capture how he wanted to be seen, both by people in the present and by future generations. So much of the Black creativity and the Black cultural production in this region really has roots in the historically Black communities that came up here during the early 1900s. I reached out to Cheryl Foggo, who's a filmmaker that I have known for a while, who was working with this subject matter. When I reached out to her and she was open to the idea of working together on a film, I was super excited.
In the film For Caesar, people will meet Leander Keith Lane, who is the great-grandson of Julius Caesar Lane, who was the first person to be buried in the Shiloh Baptist Church Cemetery. They will see the beauty of the surrounding area and learn about both the journey of the Black people who ended up in that part of the world, but also Leander's journey researching the life of his great-grandfather and other ancestors. And then, probably most importantly, people will be introduced to Leander's journey of caring for both the church and the cemetery to make sure it's preserved for future generations. I really wanted to have something that was very much set in the place of my blood ancestors. So that is what compelled me to want to make this particular film. But I also wanted to honor the work that Leander Lane has done to preserve that particular piece of history. I also wanted to provide a bit of a roadmap, or a blueprint, I call it, for other people who might want to do this kind of work. I wanted to offer a blueprint for how I do what I do to tell our stories for young filmmakers and other artists.
Being vulnerable isn't honey stuck underneath your tongue. Being vulnerable is, well, iron, melted and swallowed. Let it glide on gracefully. If you must learn to be human, become still, waiting in time with the full-figured dandelions turning towards you like they did to your mothers long ago. If you must learn words, be irate. Let "ray" linger on your drip-laden tongue. The taste of kata will maybe shock you to know your own language. Later, let the gossiping muses fill you with disdain for your own culture. Maybe then you will fill the streets with proverbs. You there, shaken with hope. Do not communicate with hate. Be buried with the full-figured dandelions. Find your voice in forgiveness.